Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This is episode 2 of Peace of Mind by Sanaya Renee. I'm so excited to be just able to have this safe space. I just wanted to say this first, to be able to express myself and my thoughts and how I feel and just certain, topics that I feel strongly on, or that I feel I have a little more information than just going on Google and getting it. I have a little bit more personal experiences. I love to be able to talk about that and just to look back and be like, dang, Sanaya, you grown, you know what I'm saying? I like that. So today in episode 2, we will be talking about the power of habits. And that will include self-control, habit of loop, and then the keystones of habits. So I just keep it short and sweet just because I don't want to do this long video, and I don't want this to be something dragged out and long to the point where people who listen to it aren't getting the message because it's just so long. So I'm just going to go ahead and dive right into it. So first we have self-control. So let's just go firstly with the definition of self-control. And it is the ability to control oneself, in particular one's emotions and desires, or the expression of them in one's behavior, especially in difficult situations. And I can say personally I struggle with self-control. I'm not gonna, of course, get deep into the aspects of my life that I need to work on it, but just know I definitely know that I need to work on having self-control. And that, I'll give a broad example. Spending is one that I literally have to really sit there and hound myself on and be real, so that way I can have some sort of control over my money. And that goes into different aspects of my life. When it comes to self-control, when I'm going to sleep at 3 o'clock in the morning, I have no self-control over that. I have a terrible sleep schedule right now. I need to work on that. Self-control when it comes to when I get upset. Sometimes I don't tend to put my hands on people, but I do tend to get upset in my emotions, and I might raise my voice, or I might say something hurtful because you hurt me with what you said. So now I got to get you back for what you just did to me, which it's not healthy. I shouldn't do that. So those are the areas of self-control I need to work on, and I know that I need to work on. And I feel like, obviously I'm not the only person in this world, so I'm not the only one who's going through something like this or who has experienced something like this. So I just know that those are the areas that I need to work on. Now, how do we practice self-control? You honestly have to practice self-control, and I'm going to go back to episode 1. I talked about starving your distractions to feed your priorities. It's kind of like that when it comes to self-control. You got to starve whatever the act is that is making you lose control to the point where you're just acting. You're not even thinking, you're just acting. You're just buying. You're just yelling. You're just, hurting back. That's, you have to starve that. Whatever it is. And it's hard. Maybe start by writing it down. Maybe start by taking it day by day, week by week, month by month. I'm going to make sure I save $20 from my paycheck this week, weekly. I'm going to make sure monthly I saved at least 100 or 200 or 300, whatever. Yearly, I need to have this much. I kind of think of self-control as you're spinning out in a car, right? You can't control the car. It's just spinning at this point. It doesn't matter what you do. It's out of control. Yourself cannot control the car. So when your life is out of control and you cannot control it, what are you supposed to do? Now, I've never dealt with a car that spun out, and you're probably not supposed to do this, but I'm still going to say it because this is the first thing that comes to my mind to think as someone who doesn't really know about cars. I just want to go ahead and put that out there. This is the first thing I think to do. Press the brake. Stop. I have to redirect myself into the correct direction I'm supposed to be going before I was spinning out of control in this car. Going back to the example, of course. So how do we use that in real life? You have to press the brakes and stop yourself. in the moment. Because if you don't, things can get really ugly. If you don't stop that car, you could possibly die from hitting a tree or running into a building or running into another car. Right? If you don't stop that self-control, you could end up being broke or living in this habit or in this loop for the rest of your life and never achieving the goal you actually want to achieve in life, ever. Because you can't stop that habit. You can't stop that loop. So that's just how I feel about self-control. So I say write it down. Write it down. I believe in writing it down first and foremost, and then everything else will come afterwards. But that's self-control. We have to learn self-control. Like I get, going just back on the rundown of what I just did. I gave you the breakdown of the definition. I gave you examples in my life of how I need to work on self-control. And I feel like it's broad. And I only gave broad because I want to give what others can relate to. So something we all can relate to on some sort of level. And if you have it, kudos to you. Hats off. I'm so happy for you. However, the rest of us, we're working on it. Okay. So that's self-control. Now let's talk about the habit of loop. So the habit of loop, and hopefully I can get a diagram or something on the video while I'm talking about this, so you can just kind of see what I'm talking about. But we're going to see this as a circle. So on the left side, you have your trigger, right? So whatever is this habit is, spending money is the trigger. And then the act. Well, sorry, I'm saying this all wrong. I am so sorry. I'm reading this wrong. So the trigger would be what causes you to do it. So what causes me to spend money? I probably spend money when, let's say I feel stressed and I say, I need some retail therapy. So that's a trigger, me being stressed, which is going to route to the act, which is me spending the money that I don't need to spend, making me lose self-control. And there's no reward there. Now let's take this all and let's say we have the self-control, because that's the aspect of it that is missing. We have the self-control. So you have the trigger. I'm stressed. You know what? I'm not going to go spend money though. I'm going to go home and take a bath. That rerouting the act is taking that bath. And then the reward, because you get a reward in this one, is the fact that you don't have to sit here and scratch for pennies and dimes when you got to do this or do that because you spent unnecessary money. Okay? So that's the habit of loop. Like I said, there are two examples. Hopefully on the screen I'm able to get both of them. But the keystone habits. So there are 3 of them. And these 3 are honestly also, in my opinion, the key to having a good day. Sleep routine, right? What did I just talk about in episode 1, 2? Me not having a sleep routine. I got to work on that, right? Those are the healthy habits I need to build. Sleep routine, making my bed every day. And I have been doing that, and I feel like it helps me, when I come home from something or I come home from work, I don't instantly just go in the bed and go to sleep. Because my bed is made up. My blanket is tucked. I don't feel like doing all that right now. I'll just sit down and read or something until I really get to the point where I'm ready to go to sleep, right? And then eating breakfast. Let's talk about this in episode 1. Like everything that I'm talking about in this episode is it is a part 2 of episode 1. And that's why I wanted to talk about it in episode 1, but I just didn't want to go too much into it. But putting something on that stomach is going to help that mind. Because if that stomach is empty, that mind is going to be right there empty with it. Or shall I say, lagging behind. And I know me, if I don't eat, it's over. I'm not doing nothing. Nothing is getting done. I do not care. It ain't getting done. So I have to make sure that these 3 steps are done. The power of habits is that there are good habits and bad habits, right? I went through the self-control, right? Because self-control is kind of the underlying factor of whether it's a good habit or a bad habit. If I can control my spending money, then I have a good habit of spending. But if I can't control it and I lose my self-control, then I have a bad habit of spending. Sleep routine. Self-control. If I am on myself and make sure that I go to bed at the decent time, then my sleep routine, my sleep habits are going to be good. But if I don't have that self-control and I don't get onto myself and I'm staying up until the next day, because that's essentially what you're doing, you have a bad sleep habit. And you have to work on that. It sounds so basic in my eyes. I don't know why. To me, it sounds so simple. But actually putting action behind it, it is not that easy. And it's just because of what everyday life throws at us. If we didn't have work, if we didn't have the stress of the everyday world, of the how crazy it is, how X, Y, and Z, if we didn't have all that, it'd be so easy to go to sleep. It'd be so easy to get up and be happy and make your bed. It'd be so easy to go ahead and eat breakfast in the morning. Some of us are stressed and have anxiety. You can't even eat in the morning. And I don't want this to sound like I'm coming for you, because I'm not at all. But it's sad. And it's not healthy though. And of course, not everybody needs to eat breakfast. Let's start there. Not everybody needs to eat breakfast. Some people, like I watched Heinz, and he talked about how you can pretty much learn yourself, and through learning yourself, you can see if I don't eat breakfast, maybe I'm a little bit more productive in the morning. Because once I eat, it makes me tired. Everybody's different at the end of the day. But what I'm saying is there is stuff that the everyday world puts on our minds and our body, and it's extra stress and weight, and it makes 3 simple tasks that we should be doing every day already harder than it needs to be. That's my whole point. So the power of habits is going back to that balance I was talking about in episode 1, but it really goes to the self-control. Controlling yourself. And what do you have to have in order to have self-control? You got to have self-awareness. If you're not aware that you even have a problem, you can't even control it because you don't know it's a problem. If I'm spinning out in the car and I'm the passenger, ain't nothing I can do to help the driver to stop the car from spinning out. There's nothing I can do. I'm not in the driver's seat. I got to let them do it, right? So if you're not seeing that there's a problem, though, of course, like in the passenger seat, I see there's a problem. But I'm saying my whole point is I can't do anything about it because of where I'm at. And my whole point is if you don't see that there's a problem, you're not going to do anything to fix it. You're just going to sit there in the passenger seat while everything else is spiraling out of control, and you're going to blame everybody else. I've been there. I've done that. And then once you get that realization, you're like, dang. I messed up there. I have to work on self-control. So that way my habit of loop, I get a reward. And so that way the keystones of habit, sleep routine, making your bed and eat breakfast are easy. Now I'm motivated for my day. Now I'm ready to go. It was good. Power of habit is very, very interesting to me. And I feel like in a way I didn't say a lot, but I've said so much also. And I'm talking to myself because there are just areas of my life of where I need to have more self-control. So that way I can build the proper and appropriate healthy habits I need in my life. So that way I can build my life up for success. Something I talk about, and then I'm going to go ahead and go because I've talked a lot and I feel like I gave a good amount of gems that I needed to. Something I talk about at work is if management does not set you up for greatness, giving you the tools, the people, the resources that are needed in order to have a good, successful shift, how are you supposed to make lemons into lemonade if you don't even got the lemons? Right? So I say that all to say, I myself have to be my own manager, and I have to set myself up for greatness. And by doing that, I gotta have self-control. That's my lemon, self-control. So I can have lemonade, which is healthy habits. I gotta have them. There's no way around it. I want to thank you all so much for watching. I know that this was a little bit longer than usual. I'm sorry, but I just really wanted to get into the power of habits, and it's so important, and it's so beautiful once you actually can achieve it and master it. So again, thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if you liked it. I will see you all in the next episode. Thank you all for watching. Bye.